Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. This is That's Football and you're very welcome for this Champions League watch-along. It's a tradition. You can't just ignore it because you don't want to watch it. I'm sure there's a lot of people like myself who don't want Man City to win tonight, but there's a lot of people like myself that know that Manchester City are the favourites to win tonight. So, look, it's going to be an interesting watch. I think there's an 80% chance that Manchester City end up winning this game, but we live in hope. And, well, some of us don't. Some of us will want Manchester City to win. Us doesn't want them to win. Before I get into all that, though, let me just show you that Boohoo Man are sponsoring the show. Big shout out to them. You can get 40% off with the code Goldbridge. Loads of clothing, whether it's gym wear, shorts and t-shirt wear, loads of stuff you can get your hands on. Check it out. Big shout out to Boohoo Man. And as always, they've got a little bit of trivia for you in a moment. But let's go to that team news first of all. And obviously Manchester City, how they're going to line up. Lots of people supporting Inter, which is great to see. But can they do it? The bottom line is Man City didn't play particularly well against United last week, and United were dreadful, and it came down to two moments from Gundogan. If Man City don't play particularly well and Inter play better than Man United did, then something could happen, but I think it's going to be very, very difficult to see, to be honest with you. Man City lineup: Ederson, Akanji, Diaz, Aki and Stones, Rodri, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Silva, Grealish, Haaland. It's their best team. There's no real surprises there. Kyle Walker might have started, but they don't need to do that. Their bench is full of talent. Kyle Walker, Laporte, Alvarez, Mahrez, Foden. You know, they've got good players, and they're certainly going to be the firm favourites in this final. Inter Milan, well, Onana, Darmian, Acerbi, Bastoni, Dumfries, DeMarco, Barella, Brozovic, Kalanoglu, Xhaka, Martinez. It's not a bad side. It's not a bad side, but it's just they're very hard to predict. They've got good players, but they're up against the best team in the world at the moment in Manchester City. From their bench, you've got people like Lukaku who can make a difference. They've got people like Mkhitaryan in there, D'Ambrosio, Skriniar on the bench, Guzen's on the bench. Players that, you know, they're free on the bench. But yeah, I think they've got to get this game plan exactly right tonight, Inter Milan, and they need Man City to be slightly off. Positive City will win. Come on, City, says JMG. Yeah, I think there's let's do a little bit of a poll on this. Who wins? I think Man City. I mean, I am going to say City in the hope that I jinx it, but I think Man City will win this without too many problems. How would you beat them? Well, look, if I was Inter Milan, and the chance they have is that you've got to keep Haaland quiet. So the defenders have got to keep Haaland quiet. You've got to have a job on De Bruyne. And then you've got to do what United didn't do. You've got to pick up the midfield runners. There are three things you've got to do against Man City to stop them scoring. You've got to control Haaland, which isn't easy to do, but United actually did it last week. You've got to control De Bruyne, which isn't easy to do, but Man United actually did it last week. But what United failed to do is pick up and mark the other people. And Gundogan is arguably their best player at the moment. So you've got to do those three things. It's very, very difficult to do that. Forza Inter, I played the game, says Rob. And of course, you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan yourself to hurt Man City. Man United didn't have that either. Great to meet you the other night, says Muzzy Lions. Cheers for being a legend, having a chat with the folks at the airport. Come on, Inter. Yep, saw him on their way to Lanzarote, Muzzy. Hope you're doing well, pal. Mount's best season at Chelsea, he played ahead of two of the three of Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic. Why do people feel the manager can't get it wrong? We lost 7-0 this season. He definitely can. We need an 8 like Casido or Manu Kone or Barella. Mount will leave us exposed in the midfield. HKN is still going on about the United stand conversation. Mark, I bet my girlfriend if Inter Milan win, I get to keep my V card, says Paul Not Nice. There we go. And yeah, look, I think there's a lot of people voting that they want Inter to win. These polls never work particularly well when you ask people for a real opinion because they start doing what they want. What about a draw or penalties, says Kenneth. I think the longer Manchester City are not winning, the better. for Inter Milan. Man City are more than capable of keeping a clean sheet. Man City are more than capable of winning a penalty shootout. So it doesn't just mean that if it goes to penalties, Man City will lose. But they've got to frustrate Manchester City. Man City are a very physical side. They've got to frustrate them. And look, Inter Milan have got to play the perfect game and Man City have got to have an off day. That's what's got to happen. And if that doesn't happen, I think Man City will cruise. I think you've got to keep a clean sheet in the first 20 minutes. Otherwise, Manchester City will cruise. Look, I hope they can do it. Inter, anything's possible. But I think we all know that there's a very firm favourite here. And let's not underestimate that they're chasing history here as well. That I know the treble is a backstop. I know the treble's there in the background, but let's not forget they're also going for their first ever Champions League, this is their most important of the three trophies. They've won FA Cups, they've won Premier Leagues, they want to win the Champions League. So they'll be very, very, very motivated. Istanbul is a magical place where miracles happen. Don't write this Inter side off, says Josh Thompson, who's a Liverpool fan. And Arturo says, Mark, is it just me, but the hype for the FA Cup final last week felt like a Champions League final, and today's final feels like an FA Cup final, says Arturo. Well, I suspect I will get clipped up quite a lot tonight because Man City fans seem to like doing it. But I'm more than happy to deliver a few home truths. As a Manchester United fan, I don't want Manchester City to win the Champions League because they'll win a treble, and that's our treble. But I've got to say, for a Champions League final, this has had all the build-up of the Community Shield. It's just not captured the imagination in England. There's numerous, I've had Sky Sports on today, I had the BBC Sports on this morning, and they're trying to hype it up, but nobody is really that into it. Now, is that because Man City are massive favourites? Maybe. Or is it just because Man City don't capture the imagination and probably never will of the Premier League rivals? I was thinking about it today. If this was Liverpool going for a treble to win against Inter tonight, I'd be behind my chair. I would be, you know that picture of me behind my chair? That would be me in real life. I would be absolutely on the edge. Liverpool can't do this. I can't deal with this. I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I would not be able to deal with it because Liverpool have a credibility. They're a credible rival. And what Klopp's done with them in recent years has a credibility to it. Manchester City, if they win the treble, they deserve to do it. And I will hate it. But there's just nothing credible about it. It's bought. And you're going to get Man City fans coming from the team that spent $1 billion. Can we just put that in the bin? Because that's where we put that billion. Nobody's saying that Man United haven't spent a lot of money. We're talking about how much Man City have spent. Would Man City be winning a treble now if they hadn't had all the money and all the things that they've done allegedly? No. They bought this. And that's what football has become. Whether it's PSG, whether it's whether it's Newcastle, whether it's Manchester City, you've got to buy it. The problem is when you buy it, people don't see it as credible. If you know somebody who's really, really rich and they're hitting their 20s and then on their wedding day, they're marrying somebody that's a stunner, is that as credible as the guy you went to school to who's just a joiner who's marrying somebody who's beautiful? Like this, when people know money's involved, credibility disappears, doesn't it? It's like what I was saying on Going for Goldbridge the other week. You're out, weather's really good in the UK at the moment. Everyone's out in the beer garden. A Lamborghini drives into the car park. One side, an absolute stunner gets out. You automatically think, well, what's the other side? And out gets 80-year-old, Bernie. And you go, well, we know exactly why that stunner is with old Bernie, because he's got a bloody Lamborghini and he's probably minted. It's not as credible as if they get out with somebody who's their own age and, they get out a Ford Escort. Everyone would go, wow, It doesn't mean it's not real. It's just when money's involved, people don't see the credibility. It's why some people don't want Man United to be bought by Qatar, because they're like, you'll lose your soul. But if you don't lose your soul, you won't have this. Like, We are. If you're Arsenal fans, or you're Liverpool fans, or you're Man United fans, or you are any other club that's not got rich owners, look at what we're witnessing. We are witnessing Manchester City about to probably win a treble that they've bought off wealth. It's not a dream. It's not a fear. It's a reality. Arsenal, in most of the years, would have won the Premier League. They didn't, because they're up against a juggernaut. So this is the real world now. Look at that. Erling Haaland walking off. De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan. Some of the best players in the world at the moment at Manchester City, because they've bought it. They've bought that success. And that is what you've got to do now. That is what you've got to do if you want to be successful. Because I tell you what, if you're one of those football fans that are like, I don't want that happening at my club. Nah, I don't want that at my club. I want to be moral. Well, you'll be moral in the Europa League, because you won't be moral in the Champions League, and you won't be moral winning trophies. It's the world we're in. It's why United fans want Qatar, because they know that that's the only way we do it. I work at Hatton World and only saw kids wearing Inter-shirts, says Tom. Thank you very much, mate. You know what, though? Let's get the stats carousel going round. If Manchester City were to lose tonight, what's going to stop them going and doing it again next year? It's not just about tonight. It's about the dominance that they have. I miss when the final was played in Constantinople, says Baron. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. Let me just go back to Boohoo Man sponsoring our Champions League watch-along tonight. Boohoo Man is a clothing outlet. They've got hoodies, t-shirts, gym wear, five-a-side wear, chill-out wear. You can get 40% off with the code Goldbridge through the link in the description, or by scanning the QR code. Check out Boohoo Man for that. But they always do a little bit of trivia for us as well. So I'm just going to go through this for you. Yeah, it is 40% off when you use the code Goldbridge. But if you don't watch the United Stand, we work with Boohoo Man quite a lot on there, and they always come up with a little bit of trivia for us. So here we go. I was born on the 22nd of August, 1997 in Argentina. I started my professional career at Racing Club in 2015, but moved to Inter Milan on the 4th of July 2018 for a reported fee of €22.7 million. In my 173 games for the club, I've scored 79 goals, with my performances earning me a nomination for the Ballon d'Or in 2021. At Inter, I have won the Coppa Italia twice and the Serie A once. I was part of the Argentinian World Cup winning team in 2022. Who am I? And I got that straight away, actually. I thought that was a little bit easy. But get your quotes in. Get your answers in the chat. Who am I? And a lot of people have got it. It's not Sergio Aguero. It's Lautaro Martinez. Lautaro. Big thank you to Boohoo Man as ever for supporting today's watch along. Don't forget, use the code Goldbridge on the Boohoo Man website. 40% off when you use the code at checkout. What are you waiting for? Head over there now. Big shout out to Boohoo Man. Boohoo Man. So, I can't believe this poll. Who wins? Man City 53%, Inter 47%. I don't know why I bother. I really don't know why I bother. Ian says, best fan channel on YouTube. Thank you very much. Remember, that's football's for everybody. So make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Daily content throughout the summer. We were talking about Casido this morning. Loads going on. Last watch-along of the season tonight. But loads going on over the summer. We've got Fabrizio Romano coming on That's Football from Monday. He does do shows on United Stand. We've now got him coming on That's Football. So make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We'll have all the transfer news and reaction for you here. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with That's Football. You're all very, very welcome. No matter who you support. You might not be that welcome as a Man City fan amongst the chat, but I'm sure we'll have some in here. Dr. House is excited for next season as a Newcastle fan. Yeah, it was worth watching that video I did this morning. I completely disagree with the critics about the shirt deal that Newcastle have done. So basically, Newcastle have got a new shirt deal with a Saudi Arabian company. And people are saying, oh, sports watching, they're the new Man City. And the reality is, Man City's shirt deal is 70 million a year. Liverpool and Man United's 50. How the fuck are Man City getting £70 million a year for a shirt deal when Man United and Liverpool have got way more fans and way more credibility? It doesn't make any sense. That is dodgy. That's something to take a look at. Newcastle's deal is £25 million a year. Well, that's 15 million less than what Spurs get. And Newcastle are in the Champions League. So I don't think there's any issue with Newcastle's deal. You can have companies from the country that you were bought from. It's fine. It's more about overinflating the sponsorship deal, which is something Man City have been accused of a few times. So I've got no problem with Newcastle getting £25 million a year on a shirt deal. I know it's gone up by 5 because it was 6 million before, but they're in the Champions League, they're on the way up, and Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs have a 40 million a year deal. So I don't think there's a problem with Newcastle on that. Bean says, opinions on Tielemans going to Villa. Well, I'd be interested actually. I'd be interested actually, because would you, I don't know what fans of what clubs we've got going on here, but I think Villa taking a risk on Tielemans is absolutely fine. It's a free deal. It's a good look. I think I wouldn't want Tielemans at Man United. Free doesn't mean good. Like, we need quality. We need better than Tielemans. He's had a dreadful season at Leicester. I think Villa's the right place for him to go to try and rebuild his career. And I think Villa can do that sort of a deal. But I'd have been stunned if Arsenal or Chelsea or Liverpool or Man United had gone for Tielemans. I think he blew that this year. I think he checked out a long time ago. I mean, I saw him play a couple of times for Leicester and he was absolutely dreadful. So I think it's a good deal for Villa. It's a good deal for Tielemans, but I don't think there was much of a chance of him, going to a traditional top 4 one. Get your score predictions in. Two 0 to City, says Hafsa. 1-1 Inter on penalties, says Ahmad. 2 lesbians, I'm just watching, says Tony. He didn't really. Don't divorce him. 3-0 to City, says Xander. 2-1 to Inter, says Ryan. Look, I'm going to go with City all the way here, because if my jinx powers have anything, and some people think they do, I'm going to go Man City to win 4-1. In the hope that there is something powerful out there that will stop it. What's your opinion on us next season if we get Casido and Rice with Odegaard in the midfield? Saliba on the verge of re-signing. What's our ceiling, says Extreme Gunner. Well, Saliba is going to sign a new contract for Arsenal, which I would have found absolutely stunning if he hadn't. So that's a good deal for Arsenal, and it would have been an absolute joke if they hadn't got him on a new deal. I think if you get Casido and Rice, logically, if you got 80, how many points you get? 84 or something like that? You should be looking at 90 next year with Rice and Casido in there. It doesn't always work out like that, but that would be a huge improvement on your midfield. But I think Casido could be heading to Chelsea. Why he'd go to Chelsea over Arsenal, though, I don't know. It doesn't make a massive amount of sense. How City paid low for Haaland and us a lot for Sancho, says Quiet Mind. Right, it amazes me how many people don't understand what happened with Erling Haaland, right? Erling Haaland's agent was Mino Raiola. Zlatan Ibrahimovic's agent was Mino Raiola. What they did with Zlatan throughout his whole career was basically 2 or 3 years here and you move around. I can't even tell you the amount of clubs that Zlatan played for. Inter and AC Milan, PSG, Manchester United, Barcelona. There's more. There is more. That was the model. You just move him around, and that's what the plan was with Haaland. They wanted to keep moving him around, and when he went from Salzburg to Dortmund, the release clause was inserted. So Dortmund would have wanted £150 million for Erling Haaland, but they could only take 50 or 60 because that was the release clause. What went on behind that deal will probably never be made public. But United tried to buy Haaland from Salzburg, and some of the money that was being quoted at the time from credible journalists was bloody ridiculous. There was millions going to his dad, there was millions going to the agent. So I would look, Man City paid more than £50 million for Erling Haaland. there was a lot of money that went a lot of places that we'll probably never get to know about. But ultimately, that was just very clever because they inserted the release clause. Saying City have bought the treble is unfair. United have spent the same amount but wasted it. I give City credit for having fantastic recruitment and competent owners, says Brian. You just contradicted yourself, Brian, but thank you very much for the super chat. So let's dissect Brian's point. Saying City have bought the treble is unfair. I give City credit for having fantastic recruitment and competent owners. But they literally bought it. Like, they did buy it. Their recruitment's fantastic. Their structure is fantastic. Their manager is fantastic. But they bought it. They bought it. I mean, I don't know how old you are, Brian, but they bought it. Man City before Abu Dhabi was Richard Dunn times. Like, they were never going to get in the Champions League, let alone win it. So they bought it. They've done it really, really well, but they bought it. Man United have spent money very, very badly. But there's no doubt that Man City have bought it. I never really understand the argument of when you say Man City bought it, well, you've spent money. Yeah, we spent it badly. We're not talking about Man United. We're talking about Man City. We generate our own money. You don't. Liverpool generate their own money. Arsenal generate their own money. You don't. You bought it. I don't know why you can't deal with that. This is the modern way. You are the blueprint. You are the front runners. You are the juggernaut. You are the trailblazers. You are the club that everyone now has to follow. You are the trendsetters. That's what you are. If you don't have that type of ownership, you can't be successful. You've done it the way that everyone else has to do it now. Jen, welcome to Members Club. Haaland's father moved from Norway to Switzerland because of the tax cut. No doubt he's got money, says Sebastian. Jake Humphrey's final game for BT. Save of the moment, says Robbo. I knew there was something good about tonight. Hi Mark, thoughts on Darmian, a former United player starting a Champions League final? Ishmael, I think it's incredible. I think it's absolutely incredible. You deserve better owners. Chelsea fan cheers, says Hiros. Thank you, mate. It's incredible that Mkhitaryan, former Man United player, on the bench. Lukaku, former Man United player, on the bench. Darmian, on the bench. Starting. So, yeah, it's incredible how football works out, isn't it? Did you know every time Inter have won the Champions League, they stop the other team from winning a treble? Arturo, I really don't believe in all that sort of stuff. You can if you want. You can think it's significant, but I really don't. I don't believe in all that. I really don't. The last time West Ham won a European tournament, Inter won the European Cup, but I don't think it's going to have any difference to do. I think the way this is Man City, a better team than Inter, massive favourites. Inter have got to play the perfect game and Man City have got to have an off night. Can you see anything coming out from the Glazers tonight? No. No, I can't, Barry. Rajin says, saying they bought it is so simplistic. It gives no credit to Pep, recruitment or the structure. They still had to win the matches. Money alone doesn't guarantee success. But without the money, there is no success, Rajin. It's the fire starter. Rajin, I'm willing to have this argument with anybody. Like, you can't just say... How can you say it's not down to money alone? They wouldn't have Pep without money. They wouldn't have the best recruitment without money. They wouldn't have the players without money. The money is the key. What you do with the money is the most important thing, but you've got to have the money. You don't have Pep without the money. Pep wouldn't go and manage Man City before 2008. The money is the key to everything Man City have done. Absolutely everything. You can either acknowledge that and say, yeah, but look at how we've spent it, and that's fine. They spent it brilliantly. The structure is fantastic. Their manager is fantastic. But without the money, there is no Pep. So it's not simplistic. It's very realistic. Without the money, they're not here tonight. Without Abu Dhabi, they're not here tonight. What I find incredible is that the owner this is only the second game he's ever attended, apparently. Messi to MLS. Will the MLS be taken more seriously, and will the Saudi league stay small? Says Liam. Well, I think the recruitment of the Saudi league is one to keep an eye on. But there's a concert going on here. Don't know what's going on. Mark, if you put on your rant hat on today, you could hit 1 million subscribers. Bets on City tonight, says GJ. If you worked as a scout that's been assigned to a minor league to scout young talents, how would you decide if a player is good for Man United, says Killen? I don't know, mate. Without the money, Man City would never have made it into the Champions League. Forza Inter, says Paolo. Welcome to the Members Club, Ronnie. Like how you left Forest for Man United for money, says Kay. Ah, ha, 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 ha. It's the joke of 2023, and you actually paid to do it. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. Like how you left Forest to... So basically, there's no coming back from that. I've been sat down. I might as well have broken my legs live on a stream. I left Forest for Manchester United for money. Oh yeah, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I bet you. I mean, I'm absolutely speechless to this. I'm absolutely speechless. I'm in my early 40s. Figure it out. Man United were winning fuck all in the 80s. So why would I choose Manchester United for money? It wouldn't make any sense. We weren't winning anything in the 80s. I support Manchester United because of my granddad, because he liked the Busby Babes. I support Manchester United, and we were shit when I started supporting Man United. So you might want to go and try a new joke out, Kay, because unlike you, who's probably a Man City fan since last week, there was no... Everyone was supporting Liverpool. I would be a Liverpool fan if I wanted to support glory, and I can't stand Liverpool. So, yeah. Come up with a better joke. Joy, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. And you know, I said this. I was in Dublin on Tuesday night. Actually, you know, this local support thing. I couldn't give a shit if we've got Man City fans in here who are from, you know, Bradford, London, India, America. I don't care. I got absolutely no care about this locality. I saw Danny Dyer on about it the other day, saying because he's local to West Ham, it means more to him than anybody else. Well, no, I don't think it does, Danny. Because we don't live in the 1920s anymore. Like, I don't use the Indian takeaway down the road. I use the one in the next village because it's better. I don't support my local if I don't have to support my local. I've got no attachment to my local, so I don't want to support my local. I support Manchester United because growing up watching football, my granddad loved them, so I supported them because I loved him. That's why I support them. Somebody might be a Man United fan from bloody Cornwall because their granddad from Manchester moved down 40 years ago and that's where they were born. It's ridiculous. This locality bullshit is a load of nonsense, basically utilised by people who you probably really want to check what their real thoughts are on some very serious issues, because locality and support your local reminds me of a lot of bad traits that certain people have in real life and society. That are outdated and belong in a dustbin. Would you rather have City win today and Haaland get the Ballon d'Or, or Inter win today and Messi get the Ballon d'Or, since you love Ronaldo, says Abhishek? But I like Messi. Zian, corporate money always in United 90s, says In. Don't know what you're talking about. Get your politics and ram them up your arse. Man City are going to win it all because of money. We all know that. Stop talking about City buying. You sound jealous, Mark, says Ted. But I am jealous. I am jealous. This is why I want Man United to be bought by somebody super wealthy, because the only way to compete with Man City is to have super wealth. So I am jealous. Deal with it. You're not going to catch me out tonight. You're not going to make me say stuff or not admit stuff. I am jealous of Manchester City. They've bought everything they're about to do. They bought a treble that we worked ridiculously hard for. They bought it. And if you want to compete with them, you better buy it yourself. But they bought it. Nobody can tell me any different. Like, literally, I'm looking at their owners now and all the wealth, and they bought it. Can't stand Plastic City. I hope that Inter win because they're a traditional club. Keep the streams up from the best team in Yorkshire. Halifax fan, says Luke Walsh. Thank you, Luke. The people started the Forest thing are from Birmingham, says Michael Creaney. I don't know what that means. Support who you feel drawn to. Each has their own reason. Family, friends, locality, just preference. Football is always the winner, says Greg. Welcome to Members Club, Rich. We're getting very, very close to the start of this game. I better get the timer ready. I mean, look, I suppose the only sad thing about kickoff is that when it hasn't, before the game, it hasn't happened. In 90 minutes, the reality is probably going to bite us, those of us who don't want City to win. The reality is about to bite. Right. let's hope the referee doesn't do anything stupid as well. I'd really hate to see an Inter Milan player get sent off or something stupid like that. They've got good players, Inter. They have got good players. They could do it. Let's see if we can hit 965,000 tonight. We're on 964,300. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. I'm just going to change the number on that as well. Oh, no. We're already there. Wasn't in the top corner, I don't think. But it is now. It is now. So time is about ready as well. Here we go then. Fasten your seatbelts. We are ready to go. Manchester United's treble on the line and Manchester City's history about to be written. They look ready. Look, I forget the money. The team is still bloody good. And I said this last week. Begrudgingly, I had to admit that the way that Man City fought for each other last week was just incredible. Please don't jinx Inter. We don't want City to win the treble, says MUTV. And welcome to Members Club, Liam Owen. We're about ready to go. Inter to kick it off. And we're off. Here we go. City have got a fantastic squad from back to front, yes. Hi, Mark. I love your content. If United were in the final, would you still say they bought it because they spent tons of money? No criticisation, just curious, says Pull. Mate, we're here to watch Man City against Inter. I can't teach thick people. I haven't got time. Manchester United revenue is ridiculous. We spend money, but we make money. Man City, the reason they've got their charges is because people can't understand how their revenue is more than Real Madrid and how they're getting shirt deals bigger than everyone else. We generate our money. Man City apparently do as well. So when people say Man United spend money, we make it. It's like your neighbour who's got a mansion pulling up in a Lamborghini. What do you do? Shout at them. Boo, boo. They're probably working a job that gives them that money. But I haven't got time for this because, as I say, thick people don't understand it. What they don't understand is that Man City didn't exist before 2008, and now they're going to win now they could win a treble because they've had money pumped into them. Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal to a certain extent generate their own income. So Arsenal could spend £200 million this summer. Where's it coming from? They haven't got billionaire owners. They generate that money. Face reveal at 1 million subscribers, Mark, says Freddie. I don't know how that's going to work. Inter starting strong. Man City haven't scored in the first 15 seconds, says Robbo. Kane gets a major bonus if he doesn't publicly push for a move, says Simply Joinery. 120 plus cases by today's ref. 2 years later, got convicted. UEFA Champions League final 2026, says Joy. Look, let's move on from that. We're here to watch a football now. Would you have a deal with the devil? Offer is City win the treble tonight, but United will never win a trophy for the next decade. Says Hey. No, I'm not doing any of those stupid things. Let's watch the match. Timer's not on. Sorry, let me get it on. Come on, Inter, says Midu. See, this is what I don't like, is just how high up the pitch Man City press. And if they win it like they do there, they're suddenly all over you. Haaland's miles offside. Miles offside. Rich says, I'm from Derby, Manchester, but I've followed Man United since 1976. Talking about locality there. Haaland offside with a shot there. But yeah, look, if you're looking at the game, I've played the game. If you're looking at the game, exactly now, where's Inter's midfield? Why do Man City make it look like they've got 7 players against 3? They're just nowhere. The Inter players are nowhere. And the Man City players are everywhere. And that worries me. The high press is ridiculous. Raul says, I've been following City since 1930. Yeah, it worries me how intense the City press is so early, because they didn't do that against United. Why do I feel Inter have got a chance? Says Beeries. Look, they need the game to go quick. They need the game to be stop-start. They need to be well organised. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Man City just feeling their way in at the moment. Inter just trying to keep that shape. They've got a front three. And City just getting their passing game going here. Strong by Rodri. Nicely into Grealish. This is where they've got runners. Gundogan. John Stones. There we go. This is where Man City become dangerous. Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Oh, I tell you what. I thought he'd scored there. Cut in and had a shot. First attack and your heart's in your mouth. They had De Bruyne on the overlap as well. It was very close by Bernardo Silva. Actually, it probably wasn't that close, but he could have been closer. I tell you what, it was very close. It was really close, and Arna was shitting himself. Ben, thank you very much for your super chat. Also, we've had another super chat from Robbo. I don't get the logic you should only support your local team either. If that was the case, the fans we see in the stands every home game would be a lot less diverse and inclusive, says Robbo. Population of Manchester is 500,000. Population of Tokyo is about 27 million. So if we all start supporting our local, the best teams in the world are going to be the richest teams in the world, and they're going to be in Japan, China, and Tokyo. So, you know, people don't even think it through. The Riddler says Inter can't be dropping off that much in the box. No, completely agree. Man City starting to feel their way in a little bit here. Rain says, I've been supporting Inter since today. Oh, Inter aren't one of my favourite teams at all. I've never really liked Inter. I've got to be honest. I like them tonight, but I've never really liked Inter. Growing up, I preferred AC Milan because they had the Dutch three of Rijkaard, Hulit and Van Basten. Inter had the Germans of Matthäus, Bremer, and did they have Klinsmann at that time as well? Yeah, I've never been a massive fan of Inter, but oh, tonight I am. Matthew, tonight I am. So many people sending me messages about this Inter to win. I'm more than happy for this game to be slow. Yeah, definitely. I'm a Charlton fan that lives in Durham, and I'll raise my children to be Charlton fans unless they decide otherwise, which they won't, says Haddock. I live in Solihull. I don't say Birmingham because no, I've got nothing against Birmingham, but I live in Solihull, which is south of Birmingham, and my kids support Manchester United. You're telling me, forget who I support. You know, I've got broad shoulders. You can say I'm a Forest fan, a County fan. I don't care. But as a father, my kids support Manchester United because I'm obsessed with Manchester United, and there's no other choice really. I haven't told them what to do, but they like football and they like Manchester United. They're not going to go and support fucking Villa or Blues, are they? They're born in this area. Their closest football club is probably Villa, but they're not going to support Villa. They support Manchester United. But you got these idiots, Danny Dyer FC, telling everyone to support their local club. Well, how many people are watching from outside the UK for a start? What do you do if you live in Delhi? Not allowed to support Man United, or you're not allowed to support Liverpool. You've got to support whatever football team. Does Delhi have a football team? You've got to support them. You know, if you're from Atalanta, you've got to support them. You know, if you're from Sydney, you've got to support them. What a crock of shit. We live in a diverse world where people are transient and can make their own decisions. Supporting your local is no more noble than living in London and supporting Sao Paulo. It's got nothing to do with anything. Lautaro Martinez, Dzeko or Lukaku, says Bog. I don't care as long as one of them score. Inter on the attack here. He's took a heavy touch there. Cross will come in though. Oh, headed away by Diaz. I'd love Inter to score. I hope Inter wins just to laugh at the guy who got a City treble tattoo, says Ruba. Well, look, that attack by Inter there was better than anything United really did in the whole game last week. I come from Lincolnshire and I support Liverpool, says Rachel. And got my A-level exam on politics and maths, says Ben. Yeah, I'm not an idiot, Ben. Mark, I predict a 70th minute winner from yours truly, Romelu Lukaku. Maybe a toe poke or off his backside, says Nick P. Well, we need Inter to keep this going. 10 minutes, it's fine. Good chance for Bernardo Silva created by himself, but we need this to keep going. We need Inter just to keep Man City. That's a terrible kick by Ederson. Oh, I'll tell you what, if De Gea did that, he'd be thrown in the bloody sea. That is the worst pass I've ever seen by a goalkeeper. I'll sweep a keeper my arse. 17 clean sheets over that shit. Thank you very much. Graham says, I'm a massive Man United fan. My little nephew likes Arsenal. Any family advice on how to deal with this would be most welcome. This is great. Just stop buying presents for him. You've got two options, Graham. If he's your nephew, you either don't buy him anything while he's an Arsenal fan, or if that you feel that's a bit harsh, you say, I'm going to buy you Man United stuff all the time. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. That pass by Ederson was rubbish. Thoughts on the shark video, says Uriel. Mate, I don't think anyone wants to talk about that. You don't want me to talk about that. I don't even know what to say because it was horrific. But what I will say is, that's why if you watch any content I do, going for Goldbridge, this or whatever, I'm terrified of sharks. So I don't go in a swimming pool below knee length. That's a prime example about why you don't do it. Nobody can tell me I'm an idiot for not going in the water deeper than my waist. Just I wouldn't do it because I know it's very rare what happened, but it can happen. So I just wouldn't go anywhere near it. Talk about the game, Mark. At the moment, I'm pretty pleased with the way that they've started. It's an energetic start by Inter, and Man City are sort of struggling at the moment to find a way through. Nice ball down the left-hand side again. And Inter at the moment are winning a corner. Good play by Barella. So, yeah, I mean, at the moment, Inter are doing okay. I wouldn't say they're doing brilliant. Dev says that City press has dropped off a little bit, but Inter are definitely doing a better job than United did. Definitely doing a better job than United did in this first 10 minutes. You've got to, if you're Inter Milan, you've got to play on this because Manchester City are not machines. They're the best team in the world, but they're not machines, and there has to be some level of pressure there. What I would say is, though, when United won a treble, it went into stoppage time and we were losing. So I will never believe it until the final whistle. If Inter, if Inter are going to do this, they've got to do it, to the final whistle. I think it's fair to argue that fans raised locally to their club that go week in week out tend to have a stronger connection to their clubs, though, says Joshua. I don't know. Have you ever been to Old Trafford? I've sat next to people who live locally, and their football knowledge is shit. Not all of them, but I just don't think you can box people off, Joshua. I really don't. I mean, when I lived in Ireland, there's people getting the ferry back at 3:00 in the morning. And they've been to watch United on a Wednesday night. Like, I don't live in Manchester, so I can't really talk about it. But what I do know is I know some fanatical United fans who follow them home and away. They're driving up they're driving up from London. They're flying in from Europe. They're getting boats. It's incredible. Here's Lautaro Martinez. Wants a foul. Not going to get it because Man City didn't get their foul. Watching Dumfries to see what the fuss is all about, says Dave. Yeah, up against Grealish, it's going to be interesting. Inter could have done with getting that free kick there. Welcome to Members Club, Fredericks. Lovely ball out to Grealish here, but a good tackle, and he wins the throw-in as well. Inter are doing a decent job so far, says Optimus. I can't tweet. Normally, I'd be on Twitter going, good start from Inter. I can't tweet. That's a jinx in itself. I can't tweet. I love the show as usual. I live in the UK, born and raised, but my family is Italian, so I support AC Milan. Crazy world we live in. Says Tom. Tom, so you don't want Inter to win because you're an AC Milan fan. Honestly, looks like these Inter players get the task of this final and stopping the treble more than United did. Martinez looking more interesting too, says Axel. Honestly, says Axel of War, thank you for your super chat. I'm from Chicago. Does that mean I have to support the Chicago Fire? Please no, says Stephen. Yep, those are the rules. "37-year-old Dzeko pressing better than Martial and Rashi," says Faris. Well, the fact that Dzeko starts ahead of Lukaku says it all, really, doesn't it? Good play by Brozovic. Goes for a throw-in. How many people in America will now support Inter Miami because Messi's going there? Will a lot of people do that? Can Man United just spend the whole budget on Barella? Imagine Bruno, Barella and Casemiro, says skydiving. I always thought Barella might be going to Liverpool, but not heard anything massively developed there. Although no one understood, we were holding. Foul on Gundogan by Brozovic. Don't think he got a yellow. Hi Mark, can I have a shout out? I love your stream, says Ray. Thanks, Ray. As long as you're not Ray from them fucking crappy Star Wars films, it's alright. We can all sleep easily. Are the Inzaghi's twins, says Kenneth. No, is my guess. Haaland nods it down for Grealish. Who's gone with Haaland? Good defending here. A big Argentine community in Miami. They already sold our season tickets and a waiting list for the next year, says Dominic. Has Messi actually confirmed he's going to Inter Miami yet? I didn't even know it had been confirmed. Why is no one talking about Kvaratskhelia this summer? I'm red today, but I'm Inter, says Daniel. Sorry, I've been a Miami fan since the first game in 2020, says Daniel. I'm red, but today I'm Inter, says DKO. Here's a ball to Lautaro Martinez. He's all on his own, and it's not a good pass. And it goes back to Ederson. He has gone to Inter Miami. When did that happen? Does that happen today? Inter on the attack again. It's a good ball. Nice ball there. Lautaro does well. Oh, shoots over the bar. I think it was Brozovic. Most won't see Messi as the MLS is only on Apple TV, says Michael. And do you actually rate David De Gea or is it a joke, says Paul? No, I do rate him. It's not a joke. Got to say, good start by Inter Milan. 20 minutes in, they've not conceded. That's a good thing. But it only takes a minute with this Man City side, and they do defend very, very well. They can beat you many different ways. But the thing I was going to say is that, obviously, talking about Kvaratskhelia, I think it's a shame what happened to Napoli, because I think Napoli, up until February, were arguably going to get to this final. And they just fell away, didn't they? Just too much going on for them. But I'd like to have seen prime Napoli, certainly the Napoli that were playing back in sort of October time against Man City. But then again, I think that if the Queen hadn't died, Arsenal probably would have won the league, because Man City's game against Arsenal got postponed in October because the Queen died. Man City weren't playing that well then. I think Arsenal would have beat them. So I support my local and Chelsea. Not sure if that's acceptable. If I only supported my local club, I'd be depressed, says Costless. Inter just messing around with it at the back a little bit here. But they've done well. That's it. That's good passing. That's good passing from Inter. But Man City win it back, as they always tend to do. Support your local team works here in Brazil, says Rich. I live in Sao Paulo, don't follow any Brazilian team unless it's to annoy the locals, and so it's Flamengo or Rio de Janeiro, says Rich. Thank you very much. Do these people who insist you must only support your local also marry people who grew up on the same street? If not, it's hypocrisy, says Rob. Oh, it's Fish and Chips FC, mate. You know, they don't eat Chinese food, they don't eat French, they don't eat Indian, they don't eat burgers, they just eat fish and chips and marry their cousin, because it's just all about local. Incest is best. It's ridiculous. I can't believe people still go on about it in the year 2023. Here's Man City. That's a foul. Oh, that's a foul to Inter. He's hurt. He's hurt, ref. Grealish tries to lay it off. Nathan Ake does well. There's a man down. There's a man down. That's a terrible bit of refereeing. Terrible. I'm just going to get myself a drink. All right, Seb? He's having a laugh. He's having a laugh. That was a red card, that was. Oh my God. It's terrible. Should have been a red. Should have been a red, that. Where's Inter? Silva again, isn't it? He gets away with it. He gets away with it all the time, Bernardo Silva. Always. He's actually really dirty. He gets loads of yellow cards. But people think he's a nice guy. He's disgusting. He's filthy. The county I'm from in Ireland has no pro teams as solid. Well, you'd be better support netball then. I'm a neutral fan in club football. I don't truly support any club, only my national side, says Bran. And I couldn't give a rip about Messi coming to MLS. I'm a New England forever, says the veteran trainer. Thank you very much. 22,000 watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. We've had 23 minutes here. Bernardo Silva fouling DeMarco there. I know it's early and I don't want to jinx it, but I don't see many goals in this game. I think one goal from either team could very well grant them the win, says Lucas. I tell you what, honestly, I don't know how you're all feeling. At the moment, I'm still absolutely nailed on that Man City are going to win this. It's just written in the stars. But if I didn't know any different, I'd say quite an equal game at the moment. But no, I still think that they're going to win it. City paying off the refs might as well when you're facing 115 charges, says Sean. Grealish doing his old speedo diving again. I support Wrexham but was born in Shrewsbury. I live in Chester, so it's a nightmare, says Ada. I'm 90% sure that Man City will win, yes. Let's get the jinxes out if we can. Don't know what will happen, but this is how you attack a final. You play with intensity and without fear, says Chiri. No, look, I really hope that whatever happens, if Man City are going to win, I really hope that Inter don't get smashed, because I think that the way they've played in the first 25 minutes as the underdog has been impressive, and you know, it's certainly been better than the way United played last week. Could have been a chance there for Inter. He's just not got onto it very well. Edison was off his line. Barella knows he could have done. It wasn't Barella. It was Barella, yeah. He had his face covered. No, I've played the game. I've seen the game so many times. I still think that we will see Man City get the first goal like they always seem to do at some point. Keep an eye on the stats as they go around. Relaxation says, do you think City are feeling the pressure? Well, then they're not robots. They will feel the pressure. You've got to work on that pressure. I mean, they've still had 65% possession. Mark, you should watch Gaelic football and hurling over the summer while United are off. Look up David Clifford for Kerry if you want to see class. Says Sean. Here's Haaland straight at Onana. That was a chance. I half expected it to see it hit the back of the net. Still there. Rodri to Grealish in the box. Puts a cross in, headed away. Mark, thoughts on Saliba, best defender in the world, signing a 4-year deal, says Zayn Miassi. Well, thoughts are with Bernardo Silva here. Into that box again, into De Bruyne. The cross is not good. It goes for a goal kick. Big chance there for Haaland. Don't think it was necessarily a easy chance from that angle. Onana has to stop it and does, but there was a lot of the goal to be fair, there's a lot of the goal to aim at the far post. He could have done a little bit better. Indian in Dubai and support United, guilty of not supporting local. Imagine the players United would miss if teams supported only buying locals, says Karash. Savage says his heart was in his mouth. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. We've got daily content for you throughout the summer, all the transfer news as well. Skriniar's on the bench. Somebody said, where is Skriniar? On the bench. Luton is my local team and I started supporting them when we got promoted to League 2, says Jelk. Always worth sticking by your team. You never know how far you can go. De Bruyne, straight at the keeper. Man City just starting to feel their way into this a little bit. Don't know what you're thinking. Rap singer, chain blinger. I think Inter in the final third have had some opportunities, to be honest, where they could be a bit better. De Bruyne, stay down, De Bruyne. Come off. I think De Bruyne needs to come off there. Mark, I can't send more than 33 words. Help, says King Mo. Right, I've seen the Haaland shot about 50 times now. Good save, Anana. It's actually a bit of an embarrassment that you don't yet know Messi transfer to Inter Miami has been confirmed. Everyone knows it. Where have you been, says Kemal. I'm really embarrassed. I'd like to apologise to my children, my wife, my wider family, my friends, my former school teachers. I'm embarrassed that I didn't know that Lionel Messi going to the MLS. I didn't know. It'd been confirmed. You know why I didn't know? Because I couldn't give a shit. I mean, why is Messi going to the MLS at 35? I couldn't give a shit. And that's probably why. If he was going to Barcelona, I'd know. But going to bloody Inter Miami at 35, well, I don't respect it. I'm sorry. Well done to the MLS. Well done to Inter Miami. But I think that's a joke when you've got when you're you're arguably the world's best ever player, and you're retiring to the MLS at 35. I probably ignored it, Camel. I'm from Poland and I think City are dominating the Champions League, says Connor. Okay, thank you. Inter Milan fans are enjoying it so far after half an hour. Tell you what, do you know, here's a question for you. I don't think De Bruyne is injured. He's coming back on. I mean, to be honest, if De Bruyne came off, they'd bring Phil Foden on anyway. It's not like if he goes off, Inter won't win. I saw something today, the biggest injustice in a Champions League final. The red card that Robin van Persie got for Arsenal. That was a second yellow for kicking the ball, wasn't it? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I wouldn't want Arsenal to win the Champions League because of rivalry, but that was a joke. That was an absolute joke. He got a second yellow card and got sent off. The ball was played over the top and he took a shot. Hold on, De Bruyne. Yeah, he got a second yellow card for shooting when... No, it wasn't the final. Sorry, it wasn't the final. Sorry. I've got it all wrong. It was around as soon as someone said layman. Yeah, it wasn't the final. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't mind people saying support your local if clubs didn't actively push for a global fan base and employ players from all around the world. To say support your locals and Fish and Chip FC, rubbish, absolute nonsense. This game's got something going about it here. If Man City are guilty, what's the impact on football? Says Daniel. Looks like Foden might be coming on here. De Bruyne might be coming off. I don't necessarily think that is advantage Inter, by the way. Because I think Phil Foden is a good player. If Ronaldo leaves, where would you want him to go? Says Connor. And the fact that United didn't show nowhere near the urgency and fight that this Inter team is showing tonight is worrying, says Mario. It is. Ronaldo did a hat-trick against Atletico at 35, says Julius. Ronaldo scored 18 Premier League goals for Manchester United at 37 in a crap side. Marvin, I agree with you. He says Foden can be more dangerous than Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne looks like he's coming off to me. Doesn't look like it to me. I might be completely wrong, but Doesn't look like it. Inter's passing's not been very good, says Jason. I'm glad that you've highlighted that, Jason. I think there's been a few opportunities where Inter have got into good positions in the final third, and yeah, they've just not really capitalised with their passing. You know what my problem with Messi is? I just think he should have gone back to Barca. Just for a year. Just do 1 year, go back to Barca, because I felt the way that he left Barca was horrible. And I just think go back to Barca 1 year. That's what I think, but obviously it's not happening. City just have a bunch of oddballs playing. Ponytail, Haaland, Prince Harry, Ginger, De Bruyne, Dennis Wise, Bernardo, Alice Band, Grealish. Similar to City in the 70s, blonde hair, says Rich. Thank you, Rich. Here's Gundogan. Lovely dribble by Gundogan into De Bruyne. And again, his cross is wrong. And I think... Oh no, is he still going to play on? No, I think he might be coming off now. What an opportunity for Foden. Who had a more impressive season? Ibra at United or Ronaldo's return at United? Ronaldo's return, Beans, definitely. What an opportunity for Foden. Yeah, I mean, that he's got to be hurt. He's got to be hurt, De Bruyne, to be coming off. Don't know what it is. I wouldn't come off. I wouldn't come off. What do you expect from United next season? Also, what's your opinion on Neymar joining United, says Jackson. Let's see what transfer business we do. So, big moment in the game, 35 minutes. De Bruyne comes off, Phil Foden comes on. I think in some ways that might not be a problem for Man City because they've got so many players that can step in. Tom, welcome to the Members Club. Could it be tactical, says Div? No, he's definitely injured. You know what? I think Man City have got such a big squad that I don't think there's an advantage if they lose De Bruyne. I think even if Haaland pulled his hamstring, they can still bring Alvarez on. I just think City they've got so much depth. Barca needs a CDM more than a Messi. They would have needed to sell half the squad to get him. Xavi must be relieved, says Chiri. Leflux saying that Barca can't afford it as well. Nice ball into the left-hand side there. Good switch of the play to Dumfries. He's got some time. Where's he going to go? Oh, he's overthought it. He's overthought it there. Dumfries has overthought that. Oh, it's a shame. He's had so much space. He's like, oh, I'm in a great position here. And then he's overthought it and the opportunity's gone. It's a shame that. Right, here we go again. City. The thing about City is they're so good. So good defensively as well as offensively. They don't concede many. Woeful in the final third, Inter. So Stephen Moore. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Nearly 25,000 of you. Make sure you subscribe. Click the button bottom right hand corner on the road to 965k tonight. Inter need to score, and they need to score first. Because Man City will score and they'll shut up shop and counter. Due to financial fair play for Barca, there could have been a secret agreement with Miami and Barca for a potential loan deal. What do you think, says Mazza? I don't know. 38 minutes gone, 0-0. I'd have took that. At the start. And Arna's just booted it out as well. I don't remember a shot on target for Inter. Apparently they have had one. I tell you, I was drinking Heineken in Dublin. They had it on tap. I quite like it. People are going to rip the piss out of me now. I'm not a beer snob. Did Hamann break his foot in the Champions League final and played on? He even scored his penalty in the shootout. De Bruyne is bottling it, says the bad elf. I'm not remotely impressed with Dumfries. Average player, says Mario Franco. The work rate of City is impressive. Nice ball into Foden. You'll get it back here. Play on, says the ref. Foden just got shrugged off. Is Lukaku still slow? Or is he quick? Because I tell you what, if he's got any pace, they need somebody up front who's quick. Bernardo Silva again, look, leaving his foot in. Oh no, it's Foden. If City lose the final, it will come down to Pep's ego like the Chelsea final. He wants to be regarded as the super genius, but he just overthinks it, says Lucas. Mate, we're a long way away from that. I'd still put Man City massive favourites in this game because Inter have done well, but they've not shown any hint of scoring. And that's what you've got to do. They look like heart merchants at the moment, says Peely. What's your thoughts on Ange at Spurs, says Josh? I think it's mission impossible. San Miguel, Estrella and Peroni ranked them, says the football 212. Hold on a minute. Foden gets it wide to Grealish. Rodri is going to go wide into Aki to Gundogan. .41. Get to half time now, Inter. Get to full time. Get to penalties. Now, I think the way the game's going at the moment is I wouldn't be too worried if I was a City fan because Inter don't look like they're going to score. So for Man City, it's patience. You've just got to keep going. And at some point, you'll create the chance and win the game. I think what's not happened is Inter have done a really good job and it's not dominant Man City. But as we know, Man City can keep a clean sheet and be grind down Man City as well. Just look how far Simeone is out of his... Grealish is such a fucking moaner. He's always trying to get people booked. Hi Mark, hope you're okay. I know it's not United stand, but what's the difference if they bid for 69% of Man United instead of 100%, says Dylan. I don't know who you're talking about. Qatar are bidding for 100%. He did have his shirt pulled there, but I don't like the whole this all the time. Always trying to get somebody booked. Foden with the chance to whip a cross in. Again, another area that Man City are good at is actually scoring from crosses. Haaland goes down. Rodri, goal kick. As soon as City put press on Onana, they will crumble. They are seeing what he does, says Alan Kenny. The commentary is clearly Man City biased, says Conspiracy. I've played the game. Look, you know my stance on this. I think all of you have better football analysis than I've played the game. You know, I wasn't watching it because I was doing the United stand, but I had the TV on and I could see Mika Richards, Carragher, Ferdinand, Jolene Lescott, Czech Fabregas, Balotelli, and I thought, can they just not mix it up with one or two people who actually aren't ex-players, who actually just watch football and analyse it properly? Because I think football's moved on, technology's moved on so much, and we're still obsessed with I've played the game. I think I've played the game means you're lazy and stubborn, and you think you know it all most of the time. I get a lot better analysis and football conversation from here. Now, I thought he was going to book someone there. De Bruyne did get injured, yeah. He's gone off. Don't forget, Boohoo Man is sponsoring our stream. You can get 40% off with the code Goldbridge. Delivered to your door on boohooman.co.com. Don't know whether it's is it .com or is it .co.uk? I don't know, but links in the video description. 40% off with the code Goldbridge. Loads of nice clothing for you. I think Inter have been pretty brave. They've allowed the Man City press and not allowed it to them to change their shape. They've actually tried to engage City higher up the pitch than most teams do at times, but then they work ridiculously hard in these situations to get back. Now, Bernardo Silva here, sort of going nowhere. Still a minute to go. And Akanji shoots from a long way out. The Messi hate is real. You can't compare all players at 35. No one has achieved what he has at 35. Let him go on the beach, says T. No, I won't. The great thing about your opinion, T, is that I can have an opinion as well. I don't want Messi going to the MLS at 35. I'd like to see him in the Champions League for a couple of years, because you know what? In 5 years, when he's retired altogether, it'll just be a memory. I'm sad that Messi's not going to be in the Champions League next year. You know, that's probably it for Messi now. And I didn't expect it at 35. So I'm sad that he's gone at 35. I think he could still be playing at the highest level for a couple more years. Not only does Grealish try and get people booked, but the Alice band and half-size socks to show my calf muscles is cringy. I never had a pint of Shipstones, Rich. Mark, do you see how important a ball-playing goalkeeper is to beat City's press and allow Inter to press, as Casper? Half-time, Arsenal are much better than this Inter team, and City made it look easy versus them. What's going on? Says the Football 212. Every game's different, mate. Every game's different. I don't think that City played very well against Man United last week. But they got the job done because Gundogan scored a couple of goals and United were switched off. Are City feeling the pressure a little bit? Maybe. It's a big moment in their history. Are Inter using their experience and making it difficult for them? Yes. I think so far, Inter are doing a really good job. But the big problem is, I still think that this is Man City's game, because it's 0-0. And if I was Pep Guardiola, and God, Pep Guardiola doesn't need to take advice from me or you or anybody, but if I was Pep Guardiola, I'd be reasonably happy. I'd give him a kick up the arse, but I'd say, come on, you know, you're playing like they've got a chance. They're working hard, but they're not causing us any problems. They've caused us no problems at all. Haaland's had a shot. Bernardo, you could have scored. We've just got to keep going. Keep our heads up. Keep going. Keep probing. We'll get the penalty. We'll get the free kick. We'll create the chance and we'll win the game. We're playing well defensively. They're not getting in. They're not getting at us. We've got options from the bench if we need it. We keep going, and at some point the goal will go in. And that's what I think. That's what I think Pep will be saying at half time. I think, of course, Pep being the sort of manager he is, he'd like to be winning 3 or 4-0 and sending a statement. You know, I remember Sir Alex Ferguson saying that. I'm sure he said that out of all his Champions League wins, it was a shame that they didn't win a game where, you know, they could just literally send a message to the rest of the world. But ultimately, it's about winning, isn't it? And I still think the odds are massively in City's favour here. I just think Inter have been very well organised. Kevin De Bruyne. 2 finals in a row, says African Giant. Inzaghi over Ten Hag, negative net spend, second season Champions League final. Will Ten Hag have failed if United don't achieve with similar resources, says Jason. Mark, you look so nice today, says Lucan. Messi in America is going to do so much for the sport in the US. We need more people in America to pay attention to the sport, not simply every 4 years for the World Cup, says Sully. And fuming. You know what I think they should do in America as well? I think like NBC or whatever else, Fox, should basically sign me up on a multi-billion-pound deal, and I'll come over and do watch-alongs there from New York and stuff and grow the sport. So yeah, I think that's the next logical step. Fuming United players did not show up and wanted it like the Inter players did. Scared, we turned slowly into Tottenham. Mark, thanks for the stream, says Paul. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. We've got nearly 30k watching. It's a massive game. Don't forget to subscribe to That's Football, because we do have daily content on here throughout the summer transfer window as well. Obviously, all the watch-alongs will be back next season for the FA Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League, and all that jazz. But we're not going anywhere over the summer. We'll have daily content for you. We've got Fabrizio on the show on Monday as well. Love from Australia, United through and through, says Ben. And yeah, look, I think at the moment, I'd be reasonably pleased if I was Inter. As a neutral, and I'm not a neutral, I'm pretty pleased that Inter are making a go of it. What are we hoping for? And I still think Man City will win, by the way. But what we're hoping for is an Inter goal first. At some point, Inter score first, deflection, something, and then they defend their way to a 1-0. But there's still a long way for that to go. If you could take anyone from that City team to play for United, who would it be? Says Chiri. Haaland. Easy. United need a striker. That's what we need to do. Look, there's a chance for Inter, but they've got to create a chance. I think Dzeko is a walk in the park for Diaz and Stones and Akanji and Aki at the moment. Lautaro Martinez has been busy, but I think Inter have been pretty woeful in the final third with their pass choice and selection. They don't look like scoring at the moment, and that's what they're going to have to do, because if they can't score, they've got to keep a clean sheet. Could be an extra time game. Inter can do it, Mark, says Denny. Inter parking the bus hard, says John. I don't think they are. This game, to me, is not defence against attack. No, far from it. I think it's. I think Inter have tried to be expansive. Yeah, I definitely think they have. But I just think they've lacked quality in the final third. Cheers from Sweden. Let's hope City don't win, says DJ. What's your favourite ice cream flavour, says Harry. Well, I actually had an ice cream down in Hoth when I was in Dublin on Wednesday. I had a variety of choice. I could have gone mint, pistachio, which I quite like, but I actually went for Snickers, which was a little bit commercial. But I'd say my favourite flavour is probably mint. Yeah, I do like a nice mint ice cream. Not the cheap synthetic mint. I like the ones with the mint choc chip. Lukaku should come on for Dzeko, says Bronte. Well, I think that's the natural thing to do. But I don't know what Lukaku offers anymore. Boring final, says Joey. I don't, in fairness to Man City and Inter, I don't know how you can describe it as boring, because it's probably one of the biggest games in sort of Premier League fandom, because Manchester United won the treble in '99. History could be repeated tonight. So it can't be a boring game because there's too much riding on it. Starting to see Ruben Diaz hype. Carries this aura. He just looks like a 10-foot brick wall with C-wire on top. Different than Virgil, but similar effect, says Rogine. Mark, as you've been a United fan since when? What's your favourite United team by season, says Rich. Look, I really did like the 94 side. 99 is always going to be my favourite. And then probably 08. They're my three, and they're three different teams as well. So I loved the team that did it first, and the players that went on and did it. Did the double in 94 with Ince and Keane and Hughes and those players and Giggs and Bruce and Pallister. A bit of a forgotten team, that one, but I loved that one. Love the way Inter are playing. The aggression is really good, says Jamie. The big game is today, Mark. Who's winning, Carlton or Essendon? And that was from the Fab. And hi, Mark. Who would win in a game of bowling? Pep versus Arteta, Klopp versus Ten Hag, and Sir Jim versus Sultani. And who would make the final and win it? Forever PVM. The mind boggles at the way your mind works. Why are English obsessed with the Irish but ridicule us, says Thanos. And from a Liverpool fan, go on Inter, says Kriya. You know what? One thing I would say, and do, we're all going to have our different opinions here, but I don't want to be right about this. I just feel City score the goal and win this game 1-0. I think if City score the goal, they know they're going to win because they can keep a clean sheet. First goal is really important. I think if City score first, it's over and they can win it 1-0. If Inter score first, I still think City could equalise because that's what City do. So for Inter, it's a hard task. But JM says City looking a bit burnt out. It's hard to switch it on and off. City against Fulham and Brighton, last two games of the season, they switched off, didn't they? They made changes, drew one, lost one. I don't think against United they looked sharp. Have they lost a bit of momentum? Probably. They've still got so many good players, though. I missed the first half. Can you summarise what happened? Says B. Yakov. Look, quite an equal half. Inter don't really have any cutting edge. Man City do. That led to Haaland with the best chance of the game, which was a good save by the keeper. Difficult angle for Haaland. Could have hit it better, but hit it reasonably well, and the keeper made the save. Man City have had more of the ball. That's always going to happen. But Inter have been competitive, and a draw's the right result at half time, definitely. But I still think City are the danger. Arsenal fan, but hopefully this final will shut all those Premier League is the best and rest the Farmer League idiots. EPL has money, not football. Divine right, says Ray. And for boring, read Barca versus Stout Bucharest in 86 and Marseille versus Red Star 91. Two classic park the bus win on penalties successes. Kenneth, I remember watching an FA Cup, a European Cup final at Wembley. Tell me the year. Wembley, Barcelona. I think it was Barcelona Sampdoria at Wembley in a European Cup final. And at that time, I wanted to be a journalist. So I had a pen and paper and I wrote, I basically acted as if I was a journalist. And it was absolutely crap game. I think Barcelona won it. Brilliant half from Inter. United and Ten Hag should learn from this, says GJ. Barca fan here. I think Inter will win, says Per. And Mark, who does Liverpool need to sign in your opinion, says Sully? As many good quality midfielders as you can. It was 1992. That would be about right. That would be about right, and it was bloody boring. I don't even remember the score. Yeah, I don't even remember the score. If anyone can tell me, I can't remember the score. It was a forgettable final. DeMarco is living. He's inviting Bernardo Silva. It's going to be a problem in the second half, says Matt. I think DeMarco's doing a good job on the left-hand side, though. Koeman free kick, 1-0. Yeah, it was a crap game. Crap game. I'll tell you what, that's got me really interested now. Who was in the team? Barcelona versus Sampdoria, 1992 European Cup final. Played at Wembley Stadium in London. The lineups Barcelona had Zubizarreta, Koeman, Guardiola played. Pep played in that. There you go. Michael Laudrup, Stoichkov. And then in the Sampdoria team, yeah, I know why I was watching this. I loved them. I loved Mancini and Vialli were playing for it for Sampdoria. Lombardo as well. Pagliuca was in goal. Bonetti. Yeah, they lost 1-0. Koeman scored in extra time. 112th minute. It was a boring game. Bonetti. Okay, so we're about ready to go for the second half here. We're halfway there. We're Bon Jovi. We're living on a prayer. Mark, if Inter win this, the missus is in for a good night. If they lose, she's in for a bad night, says Sean. Thoughts on Tielemans going to Villa, says the HPN. I think it's a good signing for Villa. I wouldn't have took him at United. I don't think Arsenal fans would have took him. But on a free transfer for Villa, I think they can do it, yeah. I think it's a good idea. Second half's not quite kicked off yet. I'm not daring to believe yet. Please do subscribe, by the way. We're very close to 965,000. We're only 20 away. So bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with the channel. We've got lots of transfer stuff for you over the summer. But this is the Champions League final. What do we think about Man City's run to the final? Well, look, they beat the champions in Real Madrid. I think Bayern Munich gave them a good game. I just thought Upamecano was terrible, and they had no striker, which is always a problem. Why do they still have big finals at stadiums that have a track around it, says Arturo? I don't know. Why is Tim Henman on the telly? Why is Tiger Tim on the telly? I was talking about the French Open. Could Lukaku be the helper today, says Roma Dude. It'd be written in the stars if he did, but, you know. I reckon Haaland scores in the 63rd minute. What do you think the score, says Epic Edits? Well, my prediction was 4-1 to Man City. So hopefully that's going to be wrong. The trouble is, Man City have got the bench. They can lose De Bruyne and they bring Foden on. I mean, that's money for you again, isn't it? It's the bench. If Bernardo Silva's not having a good game, you bring Mahrez on. You've got Alvarez. You've got quality on the bench. You've got match winners on the bench. Inter, they don't really have alternatives in many positions like Man City do. I think the most important thing is that if Inter are to do anything, they've got to score first. What time would I like Inter to score? Probably 94th minute. I'd love it. Yeah. At least they've got an academy player on the pitch. Homegrown, says Jin, in Foden. If it goes to penalties, who wins, says Prab. Oh, it's a long... I can't see it going to... Well, look, it could go to penalties. I can't see it going to penalties because I think at some point Man City will score. I think for it to go to penalties, Inter would need a goal. I can't see it being 0-0. Pep's still talking to them in the tunnel, look. So many good players. Jamie said, had the pleasure seeing you Tuesday night in Dublin. The show was brilliant. Thank you, Jamie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Jesus was playing City would be winning, says Zayn Miasi. Right, let's get ready to start the second half. 0-0, halfway there. Pep looks pretty relaxed. Dare to dream. Are we ready? And we're off. There we go. Second half starts. City don't tick the same without Kevin De Bruyne. If I remember rightly, middle of the season he got injured and City was not the same, says Sean. Lukaku to score the winner, I predict it, says DJ. Depends what the opposition is. They might not be the same without De Bruyne, but they've still got enough players, haven't they? Still got enough players in that team. Opinions on Onana's distribution, and will you ever see David De Gea put a performance on the ball like this, says Arjun. Go on, Dzeko, down the line. Unlucky. Pace is there. You know City are in trouble when Pep isn't frantic, says Danny. It's amazing. I don't think there's many fans of English clubs that want Man City to win. You know, I've seen loads of Liverpool fans saying no. Loads of Arsenal. Well, Arsenal fans have quite a good relationship with City, don't they? But Kevin De Bruyne went off injured, Joe, in the first half for Foden. That's why he's not playing. No one wants Lance Armstrong FC to win, said somebody in the chat. Referee's now going to give a foul. Bernardo Silva at it again. Feels like this game is going to corner down. It's going to come down to a mistake from one side or the other. Praying it's City that make it, says Andrew O'Brien. Bernardo Silva on DeMarco again. Well, it's quite clearly a foul, isn't it? Mark, why did Messi run off to the MLS at 35? Ronaldo was top scorer for Juve at the age of 35, says James. I think Messi needed to leave PSG, and obviously that was probably the best offer on the table. This game will be settled with a moment of magic, says the Football 212. Inter have done all right, but at some point City are going to score. And when Milan attack City, they'll score it again, says Govind. He's trying to jinx it, in his own words. We were talking about it before the game, though, weren't we? That the three-step plan to beating Man City... Well, stopping... It's not even beating Man City. The three-step plan to stopping Man City is keep Haaland quiet, keep De Bruyne quiet, and pick up the midfield runners. If you do that, you've got a very good chance of stopping them scoring. Then, you've got to have an outlet yourself. And I think at the moment, Inter have done a reasonable job at keeping Haaland quiet. Obviously, De Bruyne has gone off, stopping the midfield runners. But what they haven't done is created a threat themselves. And that's the hard thing. You do all the defensive things right, and then you've got to try and do something offensively as well. City fans looking a bit nervous. That's the problem when you're the huge favourites, isn't it? But remember, they don't have to win 3 or 4-0. 1-0 off the goal of the referee's arse will do. Who would win on penalties? Oh, God, terrible ball out by Onana there. Put him into all sorts of trouble. Bernardo Silva. Oh, Inter will take it away. Well done by Barella. City just so athletic in the back line, though. Xhako's not really giving anything, is he? He's not really giving anything. I mean, if you could take Xhako out that team and put Victor Osimhen up front, just somebody with power and pace, changes the dynamic for Inter. But they've got Xhako who's just not. He's physical, but he ain't quick, which just makes it quite easy for Man City. Gundogan. Oh, he got fouled. How many City fans did you know growing up, Mark? Says Colin. Honestly, I never knew a Man City fan in my whole life between the age of 5 and 35. I knew it. I went to school with an Ipswich Town fan. You know, Hearts of Midlothian, Hibernian, Norwich. I don't know why I knew that they're both very close together, but I've never known them. I never knew a Man City fan. I never did. I think if you lived in Manchester, you probably would, but I don't think anybody supported Man City outside of Manchester. There's a lot more of them now. See a lot of them now. Seb goes to training. You see a few there. Good play. He's had a good game, DeMarco. Go on. Oh, ref. That's a foul. How's he not giving a foul there? Bloody hell, ref. Ref's losing control here. Just doesn't want to give any fouls. That's a blatant foul on. I mean, that's the most blatant foul I've ever seen by Gundogan on Martinez. And then he goes and gives a foul for bloody sponsored by Speedo Grealish. How's he not given a foul against Martinez there? Would love to sign Barella to play as the number 8 instead of Eriksen. The guy is all class. Also, Brozovic is playing very well. This is Sui. Crap cross. Goes for a throw-in. You don't get VAR for free kicks on the centre circle. It's only for like penalties and stuff like that. "53 minutes. Still feels to me like at some point Man City get the goal. They break it down. Break it down. Here's John Stones. He's done really well. Into Gundogan. Inter have done well to get the numbers back there. Grealish. John Stones. That's a dive. Get up. Calm it down. Calm it down. I don't think Foden did foul anyone, to be fair. Inter have been brilliant, says Lewis K. City are losing their composure, says Daz. Look, it's not been vintage City, but well done, Lautaro Martinez. Good block. Went for glory, though. Probably shouldn't have shot from there. Kalanoglu. Well, then again, it's Kalanoglu. Hey, put the cross in. Oh, I'll tell you what. Get those crosses in the box with Dzeko. Bit better from Inter. Martinez did well there. Back to Onana. God, I tell you what, he's very good, Onana, but he does panic you. Dumfries does well. And Dzeko's gone down. Take him off. 55 minutes, take him off. That'll do. Time for Lukaku. Yep, he's coming on. Lukaku time, here we go. Redemption. Dzeko off, Lukaku on. This is what people have been talking about. I don't know. Has he got it in him anymore? I don't know. How old is he? At least he's going to be more mobile than Dzeko. UEFA officials sponsored by Man City, says Joseph. Onana goes long straight away to Lukaku. He flicks it on. Lovely flick on. They've got options here. Oh, Dumfries got his pass wrong. Again, I think if Inter in the final third had sorted their passing out, they've had some good opportunities. They had a 3v4, 4v3 there. He's 30 now, Lukaku. John Stones is starting to step up. I don't know whether you've noticed that. He's starting to join the attack a lot more, John Stones. Adrit says, Lukaku coming on will be a turning point. We just don't know which way. Of course, Man City have got subs. Mahrez is always an interesting one. Crazy, isn't it? Lukaku's playing up front in a Champions League final and Darmian's playing centre-back. Both United rejects. What's happened here? Lautaro Martinez. Oh, he went for goal and Ederson was there and I don't think the shot was on. I think the square was on to Lukaku and he's saying, why didn't you square it to me? And now it's City and it's Foden. And he's won a free kick and he's going to get booked. And it's Barella who gets booked for a foul on Foden. And Barella's fuming because Martinez should have squared it to Lukaku, and that was probably the chance of the game for Inter. Well, they're going to show this for the foul on Foden. It was a foul. It was a foul. It was a yellow card. Bernardo Silva with the pass. Akanji makes the mistake. And Lautaro Martinez, I mean, it wasn't easy to square it, but he's got to try and find a cutback. Because you're not going to score past the keeper from there, are you? Watch your show from Dublin in the membership channel. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. You have to keep on doing it. Love United stand. Keep it up, says DJ John. Thank you very much, pal. Barella had to take one for the team there. Gundogan header over the bar from Diaz. Well, encouraging for Inter. Still half an hour to go. Martinez tried to be clever. When it doesn't work, it doesn't look very clever. He's got to play. They need someone for Inter playing on that last man. There are opportunities there. There are mistakes in that Man City defence tonight. Good run by Grealish here. Lays it off. Terrible first touch though by John Stones. Good play by Dumfries. Hi Mark, love your channels. It's a good deal for Villa with Tielemans. Saw a documentary on Guti from Madrid. Remember him, very underrated player, says Peter. Yes, he was. Part of the Galacticos, wasn't he? Haaland, terrible pass. Is the game starting to stretch here a little bit? That could play into City's hands. Not been a very good City performance, if we're being completely honest. I've seen better. But of course, we need to see a goal. We need to see a goal threat from Inter. Go on, go on, go on, go on. No, he's got to go wide. That's a terrible touch by Martinez. Back into Barella. They're having a lot more of the ball in the final third, Inter. I think Pep's going to have a look at that. Lay it off. Lay it off. Barella wants it. Nice ball wide. Give it back to Barella. Come on, put it into the box. Put it in the box. Good header. Gundogan. Dumfries will win it, though. And go on, chase him down. Chase him down. I wouldn't take Martinez at United, no. I think a lot of people quite like him, but for me, there are question marks. Here's City coming forward, though. The game's starting to stretch. Nice ball into Stones. Cross comes in, goes for a corner. That's probably not bad. Bastoni did quite well. Stones looking tired. Man of the match for me, probably DeMarco for Inter so far, or Barella. I've been very impressed with those two. Mark, I'm a genius. I use sleeping bag as a blanket. It keeps me cosy and comfy. Says I'm all in. Thank you. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. For a corner for City here. As we know, they're good in the air. Grealish's cross, deep. And he's given a foul anyway. Bastoni should headbutt Stone, says Lou. I really hope he doesn't. We don't want to see Inter down to 10 men. Surely Pep's going to bring Mahrez on at some point. Still 25 minutes to go. Louise says Pep's getting nervous and I love it. Harry Maguire says Barilla's been the centre of everything for Inter. Josh says the tactics from the Inter manager have been fantastic so far. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a complete mismatch here. The Man City squad and first team is way better. Player wise, they've got a better first 11. They've got a better manager. So Inter have done a good job so far, but good jobs, it's not enough. They've got to find a goal. Oh, Haaland there, he nearly got in. Lukaku is not really making any impact at the moment, is he? If anything, I think Dzeko he's got to warm up a bit, but Dzeko was causing more problems, which is a bit of a concern because you want Lukaku to start stretching that defence a little bit, but at the moment he just looks a little bit like a bag of cement. And of course, who tires first? You'd expect the Premier League players to be fitter. I don't know why. Might be a bit stereotypical, but here's Bernardo Silva. Bit of a lazy pass from Rodri there. Grealish has to go and fetch it. Puts a cross in. Gundogan does well. He's in the box. Be careful. Foden. That's it. Send him away. Send him away. Akanji. He might hit it. Slips him in. And that's the goal. Rodri. There it is. It's been coming. And Rodri has scored for Manchester City. It felt like it might be coming. I think that might be it. Just that, I said it at half time, there'll be that one moment that they get, and there it was. There's nothing Inter can do about it. There's nothing in the build-up that's going to help for VAR, I'm afraid. I think Man City were... Bernardo Silva there just picks up the space. Yeah, there's nothing you're going to do there. I mean... Should an Inter player be throwing their body in the way here? Yeah, they're all a bit static, aren't they? I think somebody's got to throw their body in the way of that. There's nothing Onana can do. It's a good finish by Rodri. I think Inter needed to score first. I do. I don't see them coming back now. I don't see it. The treble is on. Football's finished, says the chat. It's over. I mean, look, there's a lot of people putting the 115 in there, and I know what you're talking about, but I'll repeat what I've said before. Do you really think football, UEFA, FIFA, the Premier League want to find them guilty when they've just won a historic treble? They ain't getting found guilty. I'm happy to say it now. They will never get found guilty, because if they get found guilty, you've got to write off something that's only happened twice in English football history. They're not going to get found guilty. It's not in football's interest to find them guilty because you'd have to write off a treble. So I don't think they'll get found guilty. Even though it's very obvious that they have been up to something. Oh my God, how have Inter not scored there? How the fuck have they not scored there? It's just not gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of them nights. How have they not scored there? What a chance. I don't even know how it doesn't go in. I think Lukaku blocks DeMarco. What is going on here? Cross comes in. Dumfries with the header. DeMarco, good save. Oh, hits the bar, and then Lukaku gets in the way. Fucking hell. That's it. Football was a great game while it lasted, says Joseph. DeMarco hits the bar, and then he goes to head it again, and he heads it straight at Lukaku. I don't think you can't blame Lukaku there. Thanks everybody who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. I don't think you can blame Lukaku here. I think DeMarco with the second header just loses composure. He should volley it. He's got time to volley it. He's probably not aware of the time he's got. Is what it is. Is what it is. You'd fancy the City second goal now on the break with Inter pushing forward. Oh, he's going to bring Kyle Walker on now. That just shows you. That just shows you the job Inter have done. Bringing on Kyle Walker for a bit more defensive stability. Inter have got to do something that they haven't looked like doing up until a minute ago, which is score a goal. Lovely ball by Onana. Martinez into Lukaku. Oh, gets the shot off straight at Edison. Better. You need those to go in. But he got his shot off. Still 20 minutes. Steam says that City goal made me sick. I've got to be honest, I've sort of prepared myself for this ever since United lost. I think Inter have done much better than I thought they would do, and they've at least approached this game better than United did last week. I felt when United last week in the FA Cup. That's when I sort of realised that City were going to win this treble. You know, if United, it's our treble and we can't be asked to turn up at Wembley. I thought, wow, you can't be relying on Inter. But I think Inter have done a good job, and they've done it for themselves. And, you know, nice ball here. Lukaku, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Morton says Inter are waking up. Oh, they need to wake up. 15 minutes to go here. Thing is, City on the break will fancy it. And here they are on the break. Inter have got to commit players forward. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says, what a terrible week for football. It's a dark day, Mark. Candy says, honestly, Inter have fought bravely. I sincerely thought they would get battered. It's that Man City defence. It's hard to break down. Really hard. He's built, not only has he built a good attacking side, he's built a really strong defence. They don't concede many goals. And football is done. Thanks, Lukaku, says Edo. Gosens is coming on. Off goes Bastoni. Dumfries comes off as well. Interesting. Probably going to a back four. To be honest, Mark, United need Qatar to do something like this again. We will never see glory days unless we get them, says Detta. And just play the Imperial March already, says Shotgun. This is the thing with City, though, isn't it? You know, even when they don't play particularly the Man City fluid way, they can still keep a clean sheet and, you know, wait for that moment. You know, you can keep Haaland quiet, but Rodri will pop up with a goal. You can keep Haaland and De Bruyne quiet, but Gundogan will pop up with a goal. It's just a very good team. 3 titles in a row in the treble. That's United's milestones matched. Now all they need to do is go invincible next season and Guardiola can retire, says Big Ash. They're a juggernaut. Mahmood says City are annoying but unstoppable. They're a juggernaut. They're capable. They're the only team in the world at the moment that's capable of doing what they're doing, which is just dominating. Great turn by Foden. Oh, you know what? In fairness, he nearly scored one of the great Champions League goals there. The spin was fantastic. It opened up for him. If he'd have scored that, that would have gone down in football history, really, because that would have been the goal that won the treble. It was a great turn by Foden, and he just didn't get the finish right. You actually felt that that was going to be a goal. You felt that that was going to be their moment. They might not need that extra moment anyway. They can win it with the Rodri goal, but it was fantastic by Foden. In fairness, and that's the strength that you need as well, isn't it? You know, you're one of your best. I think De Bruyne is Man City's best player. Best player goes off, and they can still tear teams apart. Here's DeMarco coming forward. Lukaku, nice little flick. Is this Bellanova? Just come on. Wins a corner. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Lots of content for you over the summer on That's Football, reacting to transfers, etc. But we're into the final 10 minutes of the last domestic game of the season. It's the Champions League final, and City looking likely to complete the treble, although Inter are on the attack, and that's a terrible cross shot. 10 minutes to go. I think there's two ways of looking at this. One, as a United fan, which I am and many people are, we blew it. We blew it last week. Our players didn't turn up. So if you're feeling disappointed and dejected, last week was when I sort of realised this was over, and our players just didn't bother. So, you know, that's why I was so frustrated when we lost. The other way of looking at it is, if you don't give a shit about the treble, is this Man City side winning the Champions League for the first time in their history with Pep, and, you know, 3 Premier League titles in a row, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. When's it going to stop? When does it end? You know, it's... Who's to say they don't do it again next year? Any chance Pep leaves after this? A very Pep move, and maybe he goes to coach internationally? I don't think so, Lucas. I think it's just such an easy job. Why would you leave? In some ways, he'll probably feel he hasn't been tested as much this year. They've cheated, though. Look, I don't care. I'll get clipped up. I get clipped up all the time. I'll tell you, this is my opinion on those charges, right? Let's see if I get proved right. Keep it for prosperity. Man City will get nothing, absolutely nothing, for these 115 charges, because football will need to bury it. Whether it's FIFA, UEFA, or the Premier League, they'll need to bury it, because if they don't bury it, they're going to expose the holes in their own system, because you're going to take trophies or demean a team that's going to go down as one of the best teams in history. There is no way they are going to do anything against City, because if they do, everything City have just done tonight will have to be tainted, and that will damage football. So they won't do anything about it. I do not think for 1 minute they will do anything about it. Wished United played like Inter, we would have beat City, says JJ. I think if Inter played like this against United, they'd beat United. Eight minutes to go. It's always hard for Inter when they're the underdog against the better team who are 1-0 up with a good defence. It's going to be really difficult. Ryan Wilson says, where's your proof City have broken any rules? Just send an email to the FA. They'll break all the charges down for you, mate. It's there. They've been charged 115 times. Whether they get found guilty or not, I don't think they will, but they've been charged. The evidence is there, mate. It's called an education. You might want to read about one. It's not speculation. Lukaku's just been booked. Could have got a red for that. It was a bit naughty, actually. Are you going to watch them lift the trophy, mate? No, mate. Look, I'll watch the game because I always do Champions League watch-alongs. I'm not going to watch them lift the trophy. That's like the love of your life saying, "Do you fancy coming round and watch me getting gangbanged? I'm going to really enjoy it. Do you want to watch it?" No, I don't. I don't want you to record it. I don't want to know anything about it. Mkhitaryan's on. 7 minutes to go. Very, oh, here we go. Foden. Another corner. Very typical European Cup final in some ways. But as I said, I would never describe this game as boring. I think there was too much on it. I think it was a bit of a game of chess. You know, underdog against huge favourites, and Inter have made a game out of it. So I didn't think they would have enough, and ultimately they haven't had enough. But they've made it interesting. It would have been a hard watch if City had come and won, if City had been 2-0 up at half time, as they have been many times. I mean, look at the Arsenal game, and Inter have made a game of it. Don't worry, Lukaku will score 50 in a minute. 90 plus 3. Says Angel. People call us Russian sugar daddy. We were in the Champions League before Roman. City literally were today's Brentford. It does feel very robotic, says Vivek. Here we go. Cross comes in. Terrible cross from Guzans, and it goes out for a throw-in. Still 5 minutes to go. City were banned from this competition for rule breaking not so long ago, says Daniel. Adesh says you're not educated yourself. Well, I'm more educated than people who are asking questions about where's the proof that Man City have done anything wrong. They've literally been charged. If you get charged with something, you have to provide proof. It's basic education on the law. Like, if you get charged with something, there has to be evidence. It doesn't mean you're going to get found guilty. You might provide evidence that, contradicts it. But ultimately, there is evidence, and that's why they've been charged. I think I'm staying off Twitter if City win, says Stiggy. I have a season ticket at Goodison Park. I walked through a door that said staff only. It was full of rats being milked. Says I'm all in. Okay, just another weird chat there. I saw somebody in the chat. I can't give you a shout out. But they said Man City's treble is better than Manchester United's. Mate, you're never going to win that argument. You're going to win a treble. Just enjoy it. I mean, the last thing I did in '99 was sit there arguing about other titles that other clubs had won. I went out, I got pissed, and I had one of the greatest nights of my life. If you're a Man City fan and you're arguing tonight about who's won the biggest treble, you're not a Man City fan, because you wouldn't give a shit. You'd just be absolutely ecstatic about what your club's achieved. You can't win that argument. You've won the European Cup, you've won you've won the Premier League, and you've won the FA Cup. You can celebrate those. You can't celebrate you won a better treble, because you can't win that argument. There is no award for it. And as I've said before, if you want to go down that road, the Arsenal team that we beat in '99 to the title and the FA Cup had just won the double. The Arsenal team that you beat to the Premier League didn't even get in the Champions League. So I think it was a lot harder for Manchester United, but it's irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. The reality is you're going to win a treble, and you should just enjoy it, because you're not winning an award for the best treble, because that's not up for grabs. But you're going to win a treble. And if you're spending tonight... I shouldn't be giving Man City fans advice, but if you're going to win this treble, which it looks like you are, the last thing... How the hell has Lukaku not scored? How the fucking hell has he not scored? How? That's all I can say. We've not even seen the replay. How has he not scored? They should have scored. Name on the treble. Here it comes. Okay, he's got half of an empty goal to aim at, and he heads at the foot of the keeper. That's one of the worst mists I've ever seen. I can't understand how he has missed that. Half of the goal is open, and he's headed it at the feet of Ederson. Don't take him back, Chelsea. Really don't take him back. If Arsenal get Rice, Casido, Gundogan, etc., can they challenge City next year, says 58 Go? I think you do well to get Gundogan, but then again, he is out of contract, isn't he? The thing is, if you're looking at this game and you're going, you know what? In all honesty, it's just shot wide as well. If you're Inter, you're looking at this and going, on the balance of the game and the chances that we've had the better chances now. Let's not forget that as well. There's a lot of Inter fans watching this game. There's a lot of Inter fans there. You've got to feel for them because they have actually deserved at least to take this to extra time. I mean, how has he missed? How has he missed? Fucking hell. Commentators saying, what a save. I've played the game, idiots. It's bloody hit him. 5 minutes to be added on. I can't believe that miss. Oh. Oh, God. Look. The best team in the world at the moment is Man City. I don't think that's up for debate. And that should not be forgotten. On a footballing level, they are the best. But I think we've seen... They can be stopped, but not enough people can do it, and that's why they're the best. Lukaku is by far the most accurate and appropriate nickname ever given. What a joke of a player, says Big Ash. Whether charged or not, the treble will always be tainted with the 115 charges. United did it fairly, says Mike. Thank you very much for your super chats, by the way. Chance for a cross to come in. I think Inter deserve extra time. I think they do, but I don't think it's going to happen. I just think it's written in the stars that City are going to do enough here. It's been a good defensive display, but I mean they've given up a few chances as well. Cross comes in. And the shot wide. Lukaku is a crap player who's made a career scoring against nobodies in meaningless games, but he's nowhere to be found in the big games, says Mikey. You've got to take it on the chin, bruv. City are just too good, says Cag. Yeah, in a footballing sense, I can't deny that. You know, in a footballing sense, they are the best. There's no doubt about it. You know, they won the Premier League because they were the best team in the Premier League and they got the most points. They're going to win the Champions League because, you know, they've beaten all the teams in it. Same in the FA Cup. My frustration is that nobody can, and I'm sure Liverpool fans would agree with me and Arsenal fans would agree with me, it's very hard to compete against the best manager in the world with the most resources in the world and the best players in the world. And ultimately, football, if it's going to change, then Arteta, Klopp, Ten Hag, Eddie Howe are going to need the same resources that Pep Guardiola's got, because what he's proven is, if you've got the money, you can buy anything. In football, you can buy anything in football. You can buy the treble, and that's what they've done over 15 years. They've gone from nothing to historical. They've gone to nothing. They've gone from nothing to history makers in 15 years on money. And if anybody wants to go anywhere near them, you're not going to find 6 local lads that are going to come through and be a class of 2024. You're going to have to spend money, and that's a message to everybody. That's Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United, everybody. If you want to compete at this level against these sort of sides, then you're going to have to find a very wealthy benefactor, because it's been done now. It's the thing that people feared. Can you actually just go and start a project and buy it? And yes, you can. Hoping there's a brawl at 90+4 for my red card, Aka. Big love, says James. Honestly, think we should just not talk about City. Let's focus on United from now, says Riley. Inter to bring Rodrigo from Real to make the comeback in 2 minutes, says Angel. This will be the last kick of the game. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It was a hard watch. It was a brave watch. It was always, for me, going to be a Man City win. I refuse to watch them lift the treble. It will make me... That's just like watching horror. But I will concede that off the line by Edison. And that should be it. And he's blown the whistle. Manchester City win the treble. They win the Champions League. They complete history. And, you know, it is what it is. I expected it. It is what it is. Money can't buy you love, but it can buy you a treble. And on that bombshell, I'll leave you to it. Grealish is crying. Mate, it's not that big a deal. You bought it. It's not... You've not done it with Villa. Rodrigo's crying. Yeah, you've not done it with some Spanish club. Edison's crying. Yeah, you bought it, lads. Well done. Thanks for watching. I'm off.